My name is Lex McMahon. I'm the COO of Titan FC. I also own my own management company and manage some fighters like Stefan Struve, Brendan Schaub with his podcast Fighter and the Kid, Jose Shorty Torres. Managed many over the years. Been in the sport probably about 12 years now. My mom had me when she was 14 years old. She ran away. She's a hippie in the late 60s, early 70s. And my biological dad was a drug dealer, and he made her a drug mule. And she would fly around with coke and weed strapped to her body, and at 14 years old. And one day it got really bad, and she ran away from him with me, at a very young age. Maybe I was 3 or 4 months old. And so I grew up really without a dad. And when I was 19 in the Marine Corps, I was actually in boot camp, and I get a phone call towards the end of boot camp, right before graduation. And the senior drill instructor comes out. "Recruit, get into my office." I'm running up. "Sir, yes, sir." "You got a phone call." "Who the hell are you?" I'm like, "Sir?" And he said, "Go ahead and take your phone call." So I took it. It was my mom. And she said, "Hey, honey." First thing I thought was, "Oh shit, who died?" And she goes, No. My boyfriend's going to come to your graduation. I just want to tell you who it is." And I'm like, "Mom, you have no idea how much trouble I'm going to get into. I'm going to have to pay for this, until the day I graduate." She said, "Well, it's important I tell you who it is." I said, "All right, who is your boyfriend, Mom?" She said, "Well, it's Ed McMahon." And, I'd just gone through 12 weeks of boot camp. They still had 1 week to go. And we learned, obviously, all the history of the Marine Corps. And so what was significant to me about Ed McMahon was not that he was this entertainment icon, but he was a Marine Corps colonel. And, so he became my dad, really, because I grew up without one. And he took that figure, and then actually he adopted me when I was 26 years old. Kind of odd, but I thought, shit, if this amazing man wants to really be my father, and I've never had one, why wouldn't I do it? Listen, Ed lived an amazing life. I was so fortunate to have him in my life because he taught me a lot about being a man. Our relationship was predicated on us both being Marines, and I actually addressed him as Colonel for the first years of our relationship until he actually adopted me, when I was 26 years old and in law school. And I remember he said to me, he says, "Don't ever call me Colonel again, just call me Dad," and gave me a hug. And so it was pretty significant. But people asked me after he passed away, do I mourn him? I said, man, how could you mourn a man that was part of the Rat Pack, that lived 86 years old, to be 86 years old, and was considered an entertainment icon, was a colonel in the Marines, flew 85 combat missions, just an amazing philanthropist, an amazing father. I mean, how could you mourn a guy like I miss him every day, but I've never once mourned him. I was fortunate in that, I'd come up in a very difficult background, but my mom had married into extreme wealth, and, while I was in the Marine Corps, and I had every opportunity imaginable given to me. I went to law school, I went to university, I went to law school, I went to business school, so I had this amazing education all after I came in. I was supported every step of the way in the process of doing it. But the truth be told is I probably went and got that education beyond just, undergraduate, because I didn't know who I was yet. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what my place in society was if I wasn't going to be a warrior anymore. But I was so burnt out from 2 tours in Somalia that I couldn't, at the time, fathom being a warrior again. And the reality is, once you are, you always will be. It's just where your battle occurs. So I got involved in mixed martial arts, the sport, the business of it, in 2008. The financial markets had crashed. I had been a vice president in a venture capital company and had lost 30 deals and really was trying to figure out who the fuck I was. You know, well, again, here I am, like I did it once coming out of the military, and I had to go through this transformation process and kind of understanding what my role in society was. And here I am doing it again because I have, you know, put this amazing education together, and I'd been successful as an entrepreneur, and then I've been successful as a venture capitalist, and then like overnight, the financial markets in 2008 just destroyed everybody. And like, I just remember like my industry was almost gone. So during the day I was looking for a job, and at night I was bouncing at a bar. And I used to never tell people that, because here I have this incredible education and I have so many opportunities. But now I tell people because I think it's a great point of understanding that you do whatever it takes to make it. And so now I wear it kind of as a badge of honor. But that process actually brought me to MMA. I had some time on my hand, and I was cruising the internet, and there's a site that I had bought some t-shirts from, which was Ranger Up, and they had this great site called the Rhino Den, which had content, and it was military stories written by military people. So it resonated with me. And they had a contest, and Nick had put it out, you know, Nick Palmisciano of Ranger Up, the founder and CEO. He said, listen, we need more writers for the Den. We're gonna have a contest, and best story, you get to become one of our writers. It's like, so I thought, what am I gonna write about, you know? What's gonna be authentic and resonate with what their demographic is? And I said, man, I'm gonna tell that famous, so there I was in the shit story. Everybody who's ever served in the military has a story that starts out, so there I was in the shit.